Mojo all up in there. Be keeping it real, you know, with the international house of Mojo. You best be listening to our show. Yeah. Mixin' Mojo, mixin' Mojo, mixin' Mojo, mixin' Mojo, mixin' Mojo, mixin' Mojo, mixin' Mojo.
Hi, this is Jason.
Hi, this is Chris.
And welcome to the MojoCast. It is, Sunday, November 28th. Yeah, we probably should start saying the date in front of these because what happens is they get posted like way after they get recorded. So we start talking about like how, healthy and full of life Winston Churchill looks, and then, bam, people are like, what the hell's going on? So
World War II happens, all that.
Right. So
Yeah.
now you know. Now you know that it is Sunday, 8 in the morning over here. Well, how's it in China?
Or
what time?
It is 10:20 p.m.
Oh, wow. You can get a lot
near the next day.
Oh, yeah, I can get a lot done at 10:20. This would be a different podcast at 10:20, I'll tell you right now. But it's not, So, let's see. Last time we recorded one of these, it was right before Halloween, because on Halloween Day, Bill Tiller announced the episodic A Vampyre Story prequel. Right?
Yes, and many other things. Planned many other things, but yes, announced, yes.
And after that happened, I thought it would be a good idea to do a podcast devoted specifically to the A Vampyre Story saga, but that plan turned out to completely fall apart because nobody but me who was willing to do one of these even played the goddamn game. Is that accurate, Chris?
That's pretty much accurate.
Yeah.
This is managing to drag someone onto a podcast to actually talk about it.
Yeah, the money was never
That's
good
the harder
enough.
part.
The money was never good enough, so you had to stick with us again. Now, how far did you get again, Chris?
About halfway.
You're about halfway.
Yeah, I must admit I was put off by the worry that there wasn't going to be a sequel.
Yes.
If I knew that the story wrapped up nicely at the end and just left itself open to a sequel, I probably would have driven myself to go all the way through it.
Right. But you weren't too put off to write a review for it, though.
Shh.
Okay.
Silence, fool.
Wow.
Wait.
Okay.
Sorry, ignore my girlfriend in the background.
Well. So do you
criticizing my reviewing?
We could still talk about the iPad series, I suppose.
Oh, the news, yeah, certainly.
So why don't you start, Chris? Since you're we can get two different perspectives here. We can get the perspective of someone who technically has not played Vampire Story versus a fan.
I played it.
No. It's completion or nothing. You haven't completed it.
Well, completion is a very vague term in today's society. Especially something like A Vampyre Story.
It's pretty concrete, really. I mean, you either completed the game or,
It's not truly completed until the story's finished.
I see. Well, what are your thoughts on, what is it called, Year One?
Yeah, Year One.
Yes. Let's hear your thoughts.
Year One. I'm all up for that if it will get some more revenue in order to do sequels and other things, and it could work. It sounds a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
I personally think they should have gone episodic in the first place.
Right.
But I don't think they were ready for that.
A lot of people felt that way because, like you said, the first game doesn't have a conclusion. It was sort of created under the assumption that they would be able to make multiple games, and obviously they've struggled to be able to get funding for the second game. And the other thing is that Autumn Moon is now joining Double Fine in this, I guess, digital distribution idea.
Yes.
But they're doing it in a different way because Double Fine is aligning themselves with publishers. But it sounds like, at least to my understanding, that Autumn Moon is attempting to self-publish Year One. Does that jive with your understanding?
I got that impression. I can't remember it doing that when I read it.
What do you think?
They admittedly didn't say anything about a publisher.
They didn't.
And I always thought that you could just do it yourselves, with the developers, with digital distribution. So always surprised me that Double Fine needed someone like THQ to. But I don't know.
Well, my
Honestly,
impression was that while like waiting for the funding to work out for part 2, they're going to fund this episodic series themselves, at least the iPad versions. I could be wrong on that though. What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think about iPad as a fit for their games as a platform?
Oh, well, as for point-and-click adventures, it's perfect, really. I mean, it's much more suitable than something like Rage. It's Software's latest game. That just doesn't really work on it.
Explain Rage to me.
It's Software, makers of Doom and Quake, and all the other great first-person shooters.
So it's a first-person shooter for the iPad?
Yes, basically.
I got you. Okay.
Yes, because that's something you really need buttons for. But also like a Vampyre Story, it's slow. You don't have to rush through it. You don't have to. Well, you can just like literally point where you want to go and click, and things happen.
Right.
And so it's sort of perfect.
I mean, Vampyre Story pretty much uses an identical interface to Curse of Monkey Island. You know, a very straightforward,
coin type of thing. Yeah.
Right. Mouse only.
I presume that'd be more simplified for iPad, because imagine it with just literally one button, your finger poking at the screen,
and
unless you like hold it and like slide. I don't know. Yeah, you could hold it and slide it, then the coin appears, then slide it towards there like you do with the mouse.
And doing a prequel to A Vampyre Story is interesting because I don't know what to think about how necessary it is, because there's definitely room for a backstory. There's A Vampyre Story is one of those games that starts off where a lot has already happened. You kind of start off in the middle of it, and they do have that great opening credits sequence where they have the pages of the book are opening and they're showing the credits, but at the same time they're also showing these drawings of how Mona was basically hoodwinked by Shroudy and
tricked.
Tricked. And I thought that was an excellent way of kind of giving us the backstory of the game. And then also in the game you can optionally just chat with Frodrick about things that already happened, and I actually kind of liked the way A Vampyre Story sort of started.
Complaints with that. Yeah.
Right, it started off with the escape from the castle, and you kind of got to learn along the way what came before, and so there's certainly a lot of story you can fill in with a prequel, but I wonder how much of it might be overkill.
It's necessary right now, yeah. But I mean, they possibly could spin something out of it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they are. They're doing a game on it.
Yeah.
So they obviously think there must be some potential there.
Sure.
I'm sure, or a lot of people probably. And I don't know if they're just thinking more of people who haven't played the first one. So that's why they're not doing the sequel, it set after the first game.
Well, then they're not doing the sequel because they can't get the money for it yet.
Yeah.
I think he said he's still trying to get it out fall of next year.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
And he said that about the first one so many times.
Right. Well, since you haven't played the game, I can't really talk too much about our hopes and dreams for what year one will include. But
well, it's set before, so that's not too bad.
Wait, what?
Well, if it's set before the first one, I should be okay, shouldn't I?
I guess.
Not spoiling anything. It's a prequel.
Well, what would you like to see in A Vampyre Story Year 1, then?
I must admit, I'd prefer to see less of Mona, to be honest. I know that's not going to happen. I know that's the one thing that we know about. It is going to be about Mona.
That's like saying you'd like a Monkey Island game with less of Guybrush.
Oh, that's different. But it's because yeah. But Vampyre Story, I'm not quite as attached to Mona just yet as I was with Guybrush when I first met him.
Oh, I get that, but I'm saying she's still the main character. I mean, you're
they're talking about spin-offs. He mentioned spin-offs, definitely.
True.
Like a Frodrick one.
I definitely want to see him
He
on.
also talked.
Yeah, I want to see him on
Yeah,
seniors.
he also talked about in the second one. Yeah. Yes. Yes. He talked about definitely in the second one, a bat's tail. Now about out not just controlling Mona all the time. I'm sure that's been mentioned somewhere.
Right. It's going to be
In one of the various interviews out there.
Yeah, you control Frodrick for I think like half the game or something like that. He said that.
Yeah. So yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe it depends how many episodes they're doing. No, it's 5 parts, isn't it?
Well, he didn't settle on a number. It sounded like 5 parts was a good possibility, but there aren't a whole lot of details. We got like the title.
Yeah.
We got the title of the first episode, and basically the hope that it'll be out in roughly 6 months, and that's really all we know about year 1. Presumably, it would do its run, and then, God's willing, a Bat's Tale would come out not long after that. But it'll be interesting to watch because obviously they've never made it. I mean, this is going to be a learning experience for them. They've never done this before, and it's their first excursion with episodic development and putting things out digitally as it's made.
Yeah,
so,
if it goes well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Main hope then is that they get all. If they do 5 parts, they get all 5 of them done before they release the first one. Which
I don't think that's how it works, Chris.
Well, that's how Telltale do it. Make sure everything. That's how Death's Bank was done. That's why we got the sequels so soon.
I don't think that's really a comparable example. I mean, Telltale doesn't only put out episode 1 when episode 5 is in the can. They put it out somewhat as they're made. And Death's Bank...
and so there's not much of a gap between episodes, is what I mean.
Okay.
So you can make enough so you can do it, say, monthly.
Gotcha.
Because this is sort of what killed the Penny Arcade games, in my opinion.
Well, I never played those, but I thought that was sales.
And the first one did pretty well, but then it was such a long wait before the second one, everyone just stopped caring.
Right.
And this is my opinion, and basically, but that I had almost completely forgotten about them. Then suddenly it was like, more than a year later, then it was just suddenly the second one was thrown out.
Well, yeah, the interval between releases is definitely important, and it's something Telltale certainly got right. I mean, everyone's made this point before. You can get away with this when you're Valve. I mean, you can take as long as you want.
Yes.
But for other companies, it's definitely necessary to keep that schedule,
tight.
Right, right. You gotta.
Death's Bank is the only other
it.
non-Telltale ones to do them right.
Yeah, but Death's Bank wasn't constructed episodically the way I understand it.
Yeah, they sort of done it right.
All right, they just split it in half. So.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm done with Death's Bank. I'm done with the first part. I think I mentioned in the last podcast that I had them for PS3, but then I lost access to the PS3. What I did was I went ahead and bought it on Steam, and I played through it, and I enjoyed it. They did a really good job with the console port. Really good job. But when playing it on PC, it was like, this is the only way to play this game.
Yes, I had the exact same feeling. Yeah, they really ported it. I don't know if it's ported is the right word. I've got the impression it was on PC first.
Yeah. So now I'm all prepped to play. What is it? Thong of Justice.
Thongs of Virtue.
Thongs of Virtue. And
yes,
I
haven't finished the first one yet, actually.
Right. It's good. And at the same time as all this, at the same time as all this, I have a PS3 in this house again, so I should be able to play Costume Quest in the very near future. So I got a lot done.
Well, I'm just playing through Death's Bank right now. That's one of the main games I'm playing, actually. I paused it for a bit. I think I got stuck into Fallout New Vegas. Right. That sort of absorbed my life for a bit. And now, I think I OD'd in it a little bit now, so I got a bit tired of it. Because there's so much game there. And got back in Death's Bank, I'm really enjoying it again.
What game was that?
Oh, Fallout New Vegas.
So buy Fallout New Vegas, guys. You heard it from Mix and Mojo.
But no, Death's Bank's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's so much fun to have. Yeah, fun to have a more light-hearted RPG
Certainly. Deathspank is really good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
no Short Circuit 2, but Fallout New Vegas. If you guys take anything from this podcast, we want it to be the
There's no Van Helsing.
Yeah, no Van
But,
Helsing.
yeah.
But, oh,
What's funny is that?
Oh, yes. All right, we killed 15 minutes, so I guess that's all we can do for Autumn Moon in this podcast. This is pathetic.
No, I've got a good one. I've got a quiz for you.
Oh, a quiz.
A question.
A question.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if Zarin wants to put some music behind this, some sort of nice game show music. Just one simple question, but with a big multi-part answer.
Here we go.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
a question for you.
So it's a question.
What is Bill Tiller not planning? 1. A 5-part episodic A Vampyre Story series for iPad and PC. 2. A Ghost Pirate sequel. 3. A retro sci-fi detective game. 4. A Vampyre Story 2, 3, and 4. 5. A second episodic A Vampyre Story series. 6. 2 A Vampyre Story spin-offs. 7. An episodic Ghost Pirate series. Or 8. Trick question, they're actually planning all of these.
I take the physical challenge. I'm actually glad you really brought this up because he gets so much shit for that. I notice. Like everybody is
Partly from me.
yeah, everybody's complaining about the fact that he's apparently spreading himself thin and working on all these things. These are just ideas that exist in his head. It's not like he's expending development time and money on like all these IPs. I mean, he's just planning for the future. Planning.
Yes.
Doesn't cost
I'm
any.
not holding it against him. I've got a string of novels I want to write.
It doesn't cost anything to plan.
I know, but it's just it's so funny to read though.
Yeah.
All this planned and they haven't even got the sequel out the door yet.
Well, if you don't have plans.
Well, they got 2 games. They got 2 games.
Yes. Did you play Ghost Pirates?
No, I didn't. And I admit that. Well, 1, it's not on Steam. Not for a good price, anyway.
It's not on Steam.
Competitive.
Not competitive.
I mean, on other digital sites, and I wouldn't mind them, but it's still quite expensive right now. Oh,
Okay.
and secondly, yeah, a friend of mine, I reviewed it for PC Zone magazine, and he really disliked it. And he loved A Vampyre Story.
Did he come from the same school of reviewing that you do? Half the game and then publish a review. I mean, you got to be careful about these characters here.
He really liked A Vampyre Story, but he really couldn't get into Ghost Pirates.
Well, that's interesting. Liking A Vampire Story, not Ghost Pirates. I would want to talk about that, but I can't because it's just me in here. So sorry, Autumn Moon.
I will get it if I see it for a good price. If I see it on Steam, I'm sure I'll pick it up.
Oh man,
I can't pick it on DVD up now because my DVD drive on my laptop here is completely screwed up. It doesn't work anymore.
I really want to make a podcast about this. How this Curse of Monkey Island inspired game by LucasArts veterans has been out for 2 years, and apparently no one on the Mojo staff has played it. That's just astonishing to me. That blows my mind.
I did it halfway through.
Times have changed. Tell you what.
Then I came to China and I forgot to bring it with me.
All right, so I guess that's all the justice, the meager justice we can do for Autumn Moon in this podcast. Sorry, Bill.
I will play it once. I will finish playing it once I get back to England.
You thought we were fans and you thought wrong. But everybody play Fallout. So, Telltale
Yes.
put out Poker Night at the Inventory this week.
Oh, yes.
Which is fun and also $5.
Yep.
Did you buy it? Did you play it?
I'm doing the review right now. It should be out.
So
okay,
you're doing the review, but I asked did you play it though?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. I played a couple of tournaments. It's basically Telltale Texas Hold'em 2.0.
It is, yeah.
But it's
They've even got the same sort of animation and sounds at the beginning. I'm sure
right.
that's a reference rather than...
It's Texas Hold'em done just a lot better and with a more expensive cast. You get the impression it's the game they probably would have made Texas Hold'em back then if they could have, in 2005, if they could have gotten all these characters and had that choreography to the point that they do today. That's what we would have gotten.
Yeah.
Do you think that we'll get a series out of these poker games? Much has been said about how on the Telltale forums, the Poker Night of the Inventory forum is beneath a section called Add the Inventory, which has led people to think, is Add the Inventory going to become this long-running series? How would you...
I'd be interested if they...
Go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't do any more actual games in it. I would suggest some form of DLC. I know that Telltale have never really done that before.
DLC? Well...
Yeah, sort of just characters to put it back into it, really. That's all it really needs.
Sure, that'd be a good idea. I was thinking instead of... I mean, they've made 2 Texas Hold'em poker games so far, so I don't know if we should see a trend in that, but I was thinking that Add the Inventory could be a great... like a crossover series. Like instead of poker being the mainstay, just the fact that getting these characters and this different IP together and having them play a game together. Like why not? This time it was poker. Why not like a kart racing game next time? Like a kart racing game with the likes of Max and Tycho and stuff like that. I mean, that could be an interesting series.
Well, maybe not a kart racing game.
Sure. I mean, look. I mean, poker.
In the bar.
Right. I mean, poker's a good choice because it is kind of
other things are made. Yeah.
It's about the tells and it's about the trash talk, and obviously that lends itself well to something dialogue based with good characters. But I think you can do that with other types of games. It doesn't have to be poker, or it could be.
Oh yeah.
I do like. I do like your idea of keeping the game but just changing the characters, or
Yeah, they don't really need to reach full new games based on just poker.
Right.
You have to add a few things in, yeah.
Right.
But they haven't tried the DLC before. That'd be a perfect game for it. Mm-hmm. Certainly more so than, say, Adventures. But they done. They did the thing with Tales of Monkey Island. They did the treasures, didn't they?
Right. I didn't really play that, but I know what you're talking about. The treasure hunt game where you can unlock stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how successful they considered that. It seemed like a minor thing to me, but again, I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
But,
I couldn't get it to work for some reason. Yep.
But yeah, that would definitely qualify as downloadable content, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or was it was it just a code that got unlocked? I forgot how it worked.
I don't know if it was built in the game. I'm pretty sure it was something slightly online that you had to download for it.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure you had. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's the only thing they've done close to DLC so far.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But then DLC just means downloadable content, so that's basically everything they've done.
Thank you for that.
Additional add-ons. But yeah, with Poker Night, I don't know if I'm was expecting too much from it, but there's just a few things I could think was a bit of a missed opportunity, really.
We'll talk
I don't know how much more they could have done with it. But
this may hurt the ratings for your upcoming review, but let's air these.
It's all going to be in the review, and unless something goes wrong, it should be up tomorrow, which I can imagine will be before this podcast.
Things are prone to go wrong, though, so let's not count our chickens. Go ahead and talk.
I think they could have done more of that. Just maybe a few unlockable characters, as unlockable extra mini games, things like that. Just that little bit extra to it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a $5 game, and it is something they seem to have kind of squeezed in between their bigger ones. That's something they talked about doing. I mean, as far back as the Boneville game. I mean, they were talking about how they would like to push out something small and original in between their licenses, and I wonder if Poker Night is what that is meant to be.
I'd probably feel less about the missed opportunity thing if they hadn't done Telltale Texas Hold'em.
Yeah,
which is very much the same thing.
It is. I don't know if
unlockable characters. I mean, Van Winslow, just for one star, they've already paid the voice actor. He's already there, so he could have substituted him in for one of them. just like as an extra, not as one of the main sell points, but just to mix up a bit. And they've already got what's his name, Matt Chapman to play Strong Bad, so why couldn't he come in his Homestar runner as well?
Yeah. The
He
reception
does all the characters.
the reception to the game has been pretty good. I wonder how well it's doing outside, the Telltale community. I imagine it's
The
getting
only
a
one
lot.
I've
I imagine it's getting a
the
lot
only one
of.
I've read is Rock Paper Shotgun. Have you been to there?
I haven't read the review, but I was going to say I imagine it's getting a lot of downloads for the Team Fortress Unlockables.
Oh yes,
But that's a good. But
yes,
then
that's a weird one.
whatever you got to do, that's a good way for people to discover what Telltale is. It's actually a pretty good a promotional move for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah,
not
no,
it's
a very good
it's
promotional move. Yeah,
it's not an
yeah.
adventure game. It's not the best
Oh, I've not
indication
yeah, I've
of,
not
of,
problem
of what
with
they
that.
make, but it's definitely Telltale in personality, and you know
Yeah.
I like the idea that Poker Night is going to introduce a lot of people to the studio, and it is a fun
yeah,
game.
I
It
like
is a
that
funny
idea.
game, and you know the
Yeah.
the, the
I've
fact
had fun with it.
right the fact that it's basically Texas Hold'em, just like much better, is probably lost on most people because I imagine most
Well, I don't know
people.
about much better.
Well,
because it is basically the same game, just with different characters, basically,
yeah, but
and in a different environment.
well, I'm not going to argue about that. But I was I don't
Okay.
think I don't think many people have played Telltale Texas Hold'em, so
Well, true.
it's probably a fresh experience for most people.
Yeah. The one thing I was going to point out, though, with all the little cameos at the beginning from other Telltale games they've got in there, all the other characters sit in the background, and there's one like woman right at the start that Van Winslow opens the door for. Oh, she's the only one who's not from a Telltale game.
Oh yeah. She could
I
be.
think there's
What you think? Character from an upcoming game?
yeah the theory
Seem-
I
seems
actually
likely
just
to me.
checked on the forum. Yeah, just checked on the Telltale forum, just because it caught my attention, and I just checked now. The theory is it could be a character from Back to the Future.
Could
She's
be.
wearing sort of period dress, like 1930s style.
Could be. She could also be from Jurassic Park. She could be a raptor. You know,
In disguise.
right?
Clever girl.
Hey, they're getting pretty shrewd. I remember just I remember how ridiculous I thought it got by Jurassic Park 3. Like they basically made the raptors smarter than the humans. Like I expect the next movie, if they ever make one, like you're gonna see raptors like doing calculus for fun and all this stuff. And so I could see it. I could see them disguising themselves as prostitutes in order to lull the humans into a false sense of security. That's the Jurassic Park 4 I would like to see. But I don't
Yes,
call
that's
the
the
shots.
only place it could go.
I'm not as
Realistically,
I'm not as influential in Hollywood as I once was.
after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, anything goes
Yes.
with Spielberg.
See what you did there.
Yeah. But slightly, yeah, and also Lego The Pirates of the Caribbean was announced.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Kind of Mojo related, but I mean, hey, who doesn't want a Lego Pirates of the Caribbean game?
Well, it's all kind of, but yeah, we've always continually covered them because we already considered them Monkey Island films.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Chris. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I bought Lego Indy 2. I didn't play it yet, so I can't
Yay.
discuss it. But I bought it off your recommendation. So there you go.
Good.
So you see,
Wait, you haven't played it yet, you say?
no, but it's like
Nah,
I'm looking at it. It's on the shelf. It's bought. It's paid for. I own the damn game.
Good.
All right. So the wheels are in
It
motion.
is fun.
Steps have been taken. Top men. So
Yes.
well, touching on Back to the Future, we've got the first screenshots out for it. The first 3 screenshots, and it
Yeah.
looks really excellent. What do you think?
Yes. Now I really like the style.
Yes.
I'm glad they didn't go for an ultra realistic style. They got more. I can't remember the cartoon series. At least I can't remember what that looked like. But it looks better than that already.
Well, I mean, it's definitely more realistic than the cartoon series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a happy medium because making it like photorealistic, I don't know how good that would really have looked.
Nah, not with their engine, really.
Well, but that shot of the DeLorean hitting 88, I mean, I think that just looks sweet. I mean, regardless, yeah, I mean, so I'm not worried at all about how
Oh,
Back
no.
to the Future is going to look now. I mean, now I'm really excited about Jurassic Park. Now I'm getting greedy and I want to see what Jurassic Park looks like.
Oh,
So-
yes. Still a while before that, yeah, I think, though.
And Back to the Future, I mean, presumably the first episode comes out in December next month, and I think it's like the first week of December that we get the trailer for it. So
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, good. Good. I'm
Back
excited
to
by it.
yeah, right. Back to the Future's time is coming, I think. So
Again.
definitely more of that in the near future for people to have fun with.
There was that interview about it. They mentioned and single location puzzles that had a few people worried there.
Well, yeah, but Telltale isn't. I don't think we could have really expected Telltale to be catering to hardcore adventure gamers with
Yeah.
a license as humongous as Back to the Future. But
Yeah. I think it'll be more Wallace and Gromit style, which was pretty
Yeah.
devious, to be fair. Yeah.
I loved Wallace and Gromit.
Oh.
I gotta say, I
did.
take it you mentioned Wallace and Gromit because the interface looks kind of similar too.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned that at some point, but yeah, the interface looks straight out of Wallace and Gromit.
we'll have to see it in motion. Now this
Yeah.
I guess the announced platforms for Back to the Future are PC, Mac, and PS3. Am I correct?
I think they also said iPad.
Right, possibly. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. The iPad and PS3 coming slightly later. Yeah.
Which is usually the case. And I think poor WiiWare users are still waiting for that Puzzle Agent port. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess they're beholden to some wonky Nintendo dictated schedules on that one. But
Yes.
that game's going to be a good fit for WiiWare.
Oh yes, definitely. That'd be perfect for that. Well, fit iPad, a perfect fit for what you wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel very sorry for the 360 users there. There'll definitely be some sort of falling out there. I think it's because Microsoft just aren't very good with episodic games.
Well, they've always only picked one console to for the initial
Yeah.
run. So I don't really, I'm not really interpreting anything too too dark with that, with it being on PS3.
Yeah. It's been a while since the 360 versions though. Of any of them.
Yeah.
And then of course the Sam and Max ones just went out as the whole seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, what else we got?
Costume Quest DLC?
Right, Double
Christmas
Fine.
one?
Right? Yeah, they announced DLC. I mean, I assume that means the first one sold well, which is always good.
Yeah.
Of course, I imagine they started developing this.
Oh yes,
Well-
I did have figures for us. I think it was like it was fairly popular. I think it was like the 6th most popular Xbox Live game for October, and because it came out in the last week of October, that's really good.
Well, good.
It's
Yay!
sold something. Yeah, something like 33,000 copies in its first week.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It already beat Psychonauts, I guess.
Oh, no, that still hurts.
Oh dear. Okay. And then they announced Stacking, their second game, also published by THQ. Their second
Yeah,
digital.
I'm curious
game.
about that one. But
Looks like fun.
well,
Looks like fun. It's like I said in the comments. It's like he's made a game about Day of the Dead skeletons. Now we got Russian stacking dolls. Every kind of doll from every different culture, every kind of folklore will be accounted for in the video game space as long as Tim Schafer is alive.
it'll be Barbie and Ken next,
No,
or G.I. Joe. No, probably not.
I
That's
think
already a movie.
I think you might be missing something there.
Think of see if there's any Chinese ones I can think of. There's the scary jade dragons, but yeah, that's what we've already had a game.
So it's been described as an open world puzzle game. What do you think about that?
I didn't hear the open world part.
Yeah, open world
Oh,
puzzle.
really? Oh, excellent. I don't know how open world we're talking here.
I think I'm not. I don't think I'm talking out of my ass. I think that was said, but
Well, as in, yeah, you can wander around locations at will.
something about it being a flight sim. I don't know. The details are sketchy, but
Yeah, got submarine in there.
right. Oh
Guns. No. I think you can just like wander around the various environments and like go between them. That sounds about right. So an adventure game, really.
So we got some screenshots for that as well, but details are still kind of. I mean, there was a good write up. I think IGN had the first preview of it, and they had a good write up on it, but there's not a whole lot of details we have on that yet. So
I'm wondering if it's dialogue less. I mean, from what I've just seen of it, there doesn't seem to be any dialogue in it. It just all seems to be like emotions displayed, like The Sims.
could be.
Thing.
And the project leader for this one is Lee Petty, who is the art director on Brutal Legend. So with Tasha Harris and Lee Petty, I mean, these first two, what they call it, Amnesia Fortnite games, have been headed.
Where did that come from?
That was the
that name.
That was the how the games were made. They were the result of like a 2-week brainstorm within the studio.
Yeah, I heard that, but I can't remember ever seeing it referred to as Amnesia Fortnite until last week.
No, it's been called that forever. But anyway,
yeah, I must have missed it.
These first two games that have been announced / released have been headed by artists in the company, and I think at least one of the later ones is going to be headed by people on the technical side. So it'll be interesting to see how that makes for a different game, because obviously, I mean, these first two games have pretty distinctive art styles, and I think we can count on that for any Double Fine game. That's kind of one of their trademarks. I mean, I would hope so, but it'll be interesting to see
how they handle
the differences in approach. People from different disciplines, how they approach the game they're heading. So I'm looking forward to that.
See how well stacking does.
So,
as I mean, Costume Quest was very well timed,
yes,
and got a lot of goodwill and publicity. Pretty much right from the start. A lot of build up to it, really.
Right. And stacking is slated for spring of 2011. So that they're running at a pretty good clip, though, I'd say, with these releases. Certainly better than the space between Psychonauts and Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
Now, so that's 2 out of 4, and I think they said only 2 of them would be published by THQ. I could be lying about that, though.
Yes. So we'll have, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure I read that too.
So we'll have 2 more of these, and I think Tim might have even name checked the project leaders for those, but I already forgot. So I'm not gonna make a fool out of myself.
They said, I can't remember. I'm sure I've read that Scott Campbell was doing one of them.
Oh, that'll be sweet. And then after that is, I guess, Ron's game, presumably, whatever the heck he's working on.
Yeah, is that a 5th one? Is that
I
the 5th one of these? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's being considered part of the Amnesia Fortnite output.
No, it's just a 5th one they're doing. Yeah.
The great thing about all this, of course, is that it seems like Double Fine is busy and they are making games.
Yes.
For at least the next year or so. They seem to, have contracts and jobs and are developing video games. So that's
publishers, and they're doing quite well.
So that's
the best. Yes,
you gotta love seeing that. Hopefully, Autumn Moon can find similar success. Because the thing is, I mean, this is kind of Double Fine's first time.
That's what they need to do, really.
Doing this kind of thing too, right? I mean, you mentioned you were surprised that they aligned with a publisher for them, but I mean, this is their first step into this sort of this sort of market.
So that's why I think Autumn Moon must have one, because they're taking their first steps as well.
Yeah. So we'll see what their business model looks like. But I mean, it's good that Double Fine is apparently finding success with this. I mean,
yes, absolutely. I mean, what I'm hoping they're going to do after these ones are over, I hope is that they're going to carry on doing them, but also build like
another big game against
Brutal Legend, basically as well.
I'm sure they're quite open to developing something big again if a publisher comes around to fund it. To throw $10 million at them. I'm sure they'll be there to spend it. Yes,
because I do love their games.
Yeah. So are you still holding out hope that one of these remaining two games are Psychonauts related? You still think so?
Especially if Scott Campbell's indeed doing one of them.
Well, if he is.
But well, they've sort of speared me a little bit by updating their frequently asked questions page with is one of these games Psychonauts related, and saying no, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think
that's still the old
Yeah, I don't
question.
think that was directed specifically at you, Chris. I think you can rest easier.
No,
if you-
that was general.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying. I'm gonna have to read that frequently asked questions a bit again, whether it says Psychonauts sequel or just a game in the Psychonauts universe, because I don't think it will be Psychonauts 2. I think it will be a spin-off one.
I mean, either would work. I mean, the first game
Yeah.
ended in such a way that a direct sequel would certainly be possible. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's such a great world, and there's just so much you can do in it. I mean, you can do anything with it, and that's just. I mean, that's kind of indicative of a good license.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm still gonna bet on it for the I'm gonna say the fourth game and the last one.
Well, you've never been wrong before, so I'm pretty sure you're onto something there.
Yeah, not two, but definitely a spin-off of some sort. I mean, my main source of this is because it's from the same interview that I think Eurogamer gave, where Tim treated a game set in the Psychonauts universe
Right.
with the same sort of evasive comments as he did. Are you working on downloadable titles? This was before they announced them.
Right. Though he was talking about downloadable content since I think as long ago as when Brutal Legend was announced or about to be announced.
Yeah.
He was kind of hinting that that was a direction that the company was going in, and it makes sense that they would always be considering it because, like so many people have pointed out, it's really it really makes more sense as a model for the kind of games that Double Fine makes.
Yes. Well, yeah. Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean if they can
It's
find
it's sad to say. I mean, I love the huge games. I love both Psychonauts and Brutal Legend.
right. I
Despite
mean
odd
if they can
complaints
find
about
someone to
Brutal
write
Legend.
them a check with a lot of zeros on it, more
Yeah.
power to them. But in the meantime, games like Costume Quest and Stacking are awesome to get at a rate of what, twice a year. Pretty good
Yeah.
pace. So yeah. All right, so you want
I'd
to
love to.
close this out with, I guess, a remark about LucasArts. What are they doing? I guess there's nothing we can say. Nothing has happened
all.
since the last part. They're not doing anything except laying off people.
Yes.
So-
I really don't know what they even think they're doing. I mean, they've also recently in a press release they've given up basically all rights to the Old Republic.
Right. Or I mean,
They're-
they've given
they're
up all
sort of- they're
they've given up all
advising.
publishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're basically nothing to do with the Old Republic anymore.
Right. They collect the
That's
licensing fee, and then they can return to
That's
firing
it.
people.
So it's basically Lego Star Wars 3,
Right.
which to be fair is looking good, but then again that's not really
right.
anything to do with them.
Right. They're publishing the damn thing. So. Well, there's
And that's about it.
right. I mean, I'm assuming that Battlefront 3 is gonna not that I particularly care about Battlefront 3, but there are a lot of people who I'm sure do. I'm sure that's gonna come back into the equation. That game has undergone some interesting developmental troubles. I can't speak, but hasn't that game been in development for a long time? And it's switched from developer to
Yeah.
developer, and But I mean,
Seems to be
it's only a matter of
definitely a
time.
cursed license now.
It's only a matter of time before they put out another Star Wars shooter. I mean, there's no way they're not going to. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones will continue to grow old and wither,
And
unloved.
Force Unleashed 2 is apparently terrible.
Their
Worse than the first one.
their Steam adventure catalog will continue to remain the same size. I mean,
Oh. What was wrong with their last model? I mean, it was profitable, as far as I can tell. The only one that didn't do that well was Lucidity, sadly. Everything else about their decisions in the last year under Daryl Rodriguez was fine.
From
Must have been doing well.
From a fan perspective, it was working out okay, surely.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, monetary profit-wise, I'm sure it was doing well.
Well, what are you gonna do? So,
Put out a crappy Force Unleashed sequel.
yeah, at least we got
That'll make money.
at least we got Fallout. That's the main thing. So
Yeah. But they don't
Alright.
do anything though. It's quite disturbing.
Yeah. All right, so we calling this a podcast.
Yeah, make it a nice short one.
Well,
45 minutes.
if any of you out there, I mean, don't think this thing is limited to the Mojo staff. If any of you out there have completed A Vampyre Story, I know it's something a lot of people are allergic to around here. But if you would like to partake in a podcast, let us know. We should definitely invite readers to do these things because I mean the staff doesn't give a shit. We don't give a shit, but maybe the readers do. So
Most of our staff's fled.
Yeah.
Podcast? No.
It's all
It will
about
steal my soul.
It's all about the community. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Our souls are already gone.
Yes.
Absorbed into the MojoCast. We don't actually have physical bodies anymore. We're just the voice you hear now.
Yeah. Oh man.
We died 5 years ago.
Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So. I guess that about wraps things up.
Wow, it's like the shortest time between our podcasts almost.
Yeah, it was only like 3.5 years this time. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. So what do you say we do another one of these? Maybe I don't know. First episode of Back to the
When something
Future?
gets announced. Oh yes, definitely.
Want to talk about that? Okay. It's a
Yeah,
date.
sweet.
It's a date, guys. We'll see y'all here, and
Maybe actually get another person.
yeah, maybe so.
Drag someone kicking and screaming in.
Let's not get nuts. Let's not get nuts here, though. So.
No.
All right. So long, everybody.
We'll find them. Right. Catch you later.